Annual declaration of compliance, as I said, that we need to do every year. Why it is important? It's a regulatory requirement.
What is annual declaration of compliance and why it is important? So it's like a basic question.
Yeah, great question. It's very important. So annual declaration of compliance, as I said, that we need to do every year. That needs to be done by CEO. And the deadline for this year is 31st of March 2025, and I think ASQA will start sending an email to CEOs from first week of March. So you will get the link in your inbox about to completing annual declaration of compliance. So that is like an annual activity done by a CEO to making sure that their RTO operations and align with the compliance requirement. So that's the main thing. Why it is important? It's a regulatory requirement, so that every RTO or every CEO must complete. If they don't complete, then it has consequences of further audit, more evidence, explanation that okay, why you haven't completed, and that can be a compliance scrutiny also be there. So that's why it's a very important for CEO to complete it.
How should RTO prepare for the annual declaration of compliance submission?
Yeah. This is the most important part of the annual declaration. The step one, I think, first of all, RTO need to make sure that the CEO email address is correct on training.go.au, because if email is not correct, you will not get the link in your email, and therefore you might miss the declaration. So first thing that you need to do. Second thing is they need to make sure they complete the internal audit or health check. That can be, they can use the ASQA self-assessment tool as well, or any other internal audit or health check tool, to make sure that all the RTO operation from marketing, enrollment, training and assessment, completion, governance, all of the things are aligned, and they also know where they are standing. Is there any area of gap or non-compliant? So through this self-assessment tool, the CEOs or RTO team get an idea which area there are some non-compliances, which are the area we are compliant, and that outcome help CEOs to then step 3, which completing the form. Give all this detail. Wherever they're non-compliant, they need to explain why that non-compliance and what are the plan for them to improve from it. So that self-assessment tool help them to complete the step 3. Once they complete the form, then that will be submitted to ASQA, and then they retain all the evidence for it. We have seen sometime that we get a call from our CEO, oh, there's a declaration completion deadline is in 1 week. How can I do it? Then to do internal audit, to do this self-assessment, you need good amount of time to reflect, evaluate. So first thing is we need to start early, as soon as possible. Ideal way, at least you need a week or 10 days to get things, all the area to do the check properly. The second thing we see that when RTO have or know that they are non-compliant in some area, they sometimes do not disclose. So because they feel like if ASQA sees it, they might come for audit or any of those things. But what we seen that if there is some genuine non-compliance, it's good to add and prepare a plan to improve it, because even if you don't do it and if you come on audit next time, they will find a problem, and your self-assessment evidence is also not right, because they say, oh, you were non-compliant at the time. So that also the important part. So wherever they find a gap, it's better to complete it and prepare from it. So the third thing we see that they do the self-assessment very quickly, or just ticking the boxes. That also lead to not getting the current clarity about where the RTO operation and compliance standing. That also we see in the industry related annual declaration of compliance.
Okay. If they identify any compliance gap during or after the submission, what should they do?
Yeah, as I said before, that if they find any compliance gap, which usually it's nobody is perfect, nobody is 100% right. There might be some gap. It's good that we identify the gap, so then we can improve from it. So as soon as we identify the gap, there should be a meeting or with the management or so, and then after that we can create a plan that, okay, this is the problem, these are the steps we need to take to solve the problem, these are the people responsible, these are the resources we need, and this is a deadline. And then that helps to improve the RTO operations and able to meet the requirement.
What advice would you give to the RTO CEOs who are preparing for their first annual declaration of compliance?
Great. I think if you're doing it for first newly RTO register, or if you're a new CEO, first of all, make sure your email is correct, training.co.au, so you get the link. Second, like I said, start as early as possible, because it's the first time, it might take even more time. Maybe you need to learn and understand, maybe you need to consult different people. So in that case, I would give 3 to 4 weeks of time. So I learn, understand, and prepare. And the third thing, that if any area find some challenges or non-compliance, it's good to explain in the annual declaration of compliance and submit it.
Nice.
And then fourth thing is, make sure you retain all the evidence of your self-assessment and annual declaration compliance form.
Is there any more documents do they need to retain?
Majorly, the document they need to retain is, number one, that whatever the self-assessment they do, the self-assessment form or any health check form, what are the evidence they consider during that. If there are any non-compliances, what are the plan for them to fix the non-compliances, and the annual declaration compliance form PDF. So those are the evidence they need to collect if in case ASQA come for audit and asking for all this document.
Nice. Thank you so much. There was very good amount of information that, and now I hopefully that you have, especially before you submit your annual declaration of compliance. And just in case if you need more information, we have now detailed blog with the checklist, and we will be posting on our social post very soon. So keep on looking at our posts and you'll get more details regarding the submission. Thank you.
Thank you.
Prepare now for the 2025 Annual Declaration. Call us today.